Good morning. We're going to finish the other parts that I need to stand. We're starting early. It's a little past 8 because this week in Illinois, it's freaking hot. Yesterday, it couldn't cool down. It was 7:30 and it was still 88 degrees. That's hot for Illinois. Really hot for the evening. So we're starting early, getting this done, because then the rest of the day I can start working on areas in the house and stay inside. So let's get this going. I'm doing the microwave area, kind of where everything is. It's going to be a little difficult to film. I will try, and the way lighting is, it's not very good in there. I sanded that area. I asked him on some other areas, so we'll hopefully he'll get back to me. So we already shook the can again. So we're at this process again. I sanded, I taped, and I'm gonna test. I have a little piece I'm gonna test out here. This is the poplar. I have my brush. So yesterday, ooh, I don't know if that's good. I might have to put some mineral spirits in there. Yikes. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this first. Okay, guys. I am going to get a mess. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you, but I'm going to actually show you kind of the position I have to get in so I can actually paint in here. So, this is a little... So, I am literally in here now staining. And I want to get this done. Here I have to go a little slow because I can't tape this one. I'm sure there was an easier way. Ooh. I need to get flexible. Okay, there's the first coat. I know the fan is blowing. In there. And then we're waiting. Hey, I'm back and we are going to work on the third coat. I'm not going to video much today because I want to get done with it as fast as I can because it is sweltering hot, and the less I stay in here the better. The air conditioner is working overtime. The fumes, man, it's tough. So this is actually kind of, it's not the fun part of it. We're gonna get it done, and I'm sorry. I have second coat. I'm working on the third. I've sanded everything. Sorry about the air conditioner, but it's freaking hot out. So I'm gonna do a third coat on those areas, and then I'm gonna do one coat here, and hopefully finish it before Matt takes the bait.
I'm working on the shelf here now that's gonna cover the bottom here. This will get framed in, so that way we can put the shower wall here, but I need a shelf on this part of it here, so I'm working on that now. Because of how convoluted that shape is there, I'm going to use a cardboard template to figure that out. You can see I'm starting now to modify then the opening here, so it will all fit in there. So I'm working out just one little piece at a time until I get that to fit nice and tight, and then I'll use that to put onto the plywood to cut out the floor. Okay, here's the cardboard template then. And you can see some places I got a little overzealous on the cutting, so I make some marks about what I want to add back in when I transfer it. And then I'll actually cut shallow on the plywood, and that way I can walk it back slowly just by cutting a little bit at a time. But now I can get the general shape and get it put in there. Now, the cardboard's not so perfect that you just draw straight on these. This is not square. I cut this by hand. So I'll still use the square and measurements. I know this is 1 inch. I know where this is supposed to be. So I'll still use a square to make these lines that I know are straight. Again, this one here, that's 1 inch. I know exactly where they should be. So I will make these lines with the square and then use the curved lines here. And again, my marks where I know the line should be to make these other ones in here. All right, here's the first cut at it. Now, it was funny because in this spot here, I had 2 marks on the board. I'm like, that's not 1 inch wide. Which one do I choose? And I chose this one. And obviously, it was not the right one, so I had to go back and trim that a little wider. As you can see, we're pretty darn close. It is still sticking up just a little bit here. And I'm gonna have to now trim some of these edges here. Like so. And this is gonna need to be trimmed back just a little bit. That is about it. Okay, here's how it fits. This little cutout here is because I'm going to put a panel or wall going all the way up here, so I have a channel. This is where the plumbing is going to go up. I need that much room here to fit the handle. So it's going to be a box. It's going to be boxed in this way, so this is open, so I can bring the plumbing up here. It'll carry on with a smaller box here all the way up top, so I can mount the shower head up there. But that way, the panel will be removable from the back side. That way, if I need to get in to access the plumbing at all, I can just pull that panel off and do that. But that way the plumbing is not exposed on the inside where we'll catch things on it when we take things in and out of storage through this back opening.
Good morning, guys. We are on, I think, the last day of painting what I need to paint. I'm finishing the closet area. I might need to go get a smaller brush for some of the tight areas. It is a scorcher. It's only, what, 8 o'clock, and it is sweltering hot already. I'm going to get the second coat going, and I'll show you here real quick. Oh, he removed the light. Aw. So here we go. Let me see if this helps. Well, I got the second coat on, and it looks great. For more protection, we're gonna put another coat. We're gonna get this going because it's cool in the garage here right now. So let's get going.
Morning, everyone. This is how hot it has been here. It is so humid. I mean, literally, you can see the fog in the air here. Heading up to the shop here now to do a little work. It's early. Christina's already started. I'm late, obviously, then, because Christine's already here working. Trying to get some work done earlier in the morning, just because it gets so hot here in the day. It's hard to come home even at lunch and do a little work, just because it's too hot to get home and go right back to work after you've worked in the van, just because it is brutal to here during the day. Obviously, you can hear the air running, so it's a little loud. We do have the air that runs in here, so that makes it nicer, but there's no air in the shop. But we've done a few things to the van here since last time. I thought I'd show you around some of those here real quick while Christine's working in the closet there. I changed the light up here. You can see, I can get a peek at it. There it is. We had a light right in here, but it's bright when you look at it, since it's right in your face. Even though I aimed it down, it was a little bright to have there. So I put a longer one up in here, and it's indirect light. It's not the best light, partially because this isn't finished up here. It's shining off the black, but once we get the ceiling all the way down there, I think it'll make some nice light. And also, once we get these finished, we'll probably put indirect light up in here on both sides. As you've seen in the video, I've been using 1x, actual 1x, to fill in between some of the extruded aluminum pieces and use that as a wall in between. And that way, if you need to mount something to it, like drawer slides or cabinet doors, things like that, it fits exactly, so there's not any gap to have to fill in. Well, this is what I've been using here. So what this is stair tread. This is actually pine glued stair tread. And you can see the curved edge, but we trim it. It is exactly 1 inch. So then it fits directly between the extruded aluminum parts. You can see here, it's the exact width. I can then drill through the extruded aluminum and mount this just by screwing into it. Sometimes, though, you need wider pieces, so they make this, they call it 5/4, but it ends up being 1 inch actual. Now, there's a little variance. These are almost always exactly 1 inch, very little variance. These, there is some variance, sometimes a little bit wider than 1 inch, but not really by much. I found almost all of them to be exactly 1 inch. But it comes in all kinds of different sizes. This one happens to be 6 foot by 30 inches. What I need to do then is I'll cut this down to the width I need. I'll put it then on the table saw and rip it down and use that then for panels in between parts. It's really probably overkill for some of it because it is a little heavy, so it's not necessarily super weight conscious as far as the weight of the van goes. But trying to put 2 pieces in between or plywood, things like that, this is just much simpler to use and fits in there perfectly. Now I'm working on the partition between the refrigerator and the shelf in the storage in the back, the garage, I guess you would call it. So what I'm using again is a template to get the curvature of the van, transferring it to here. I have these measurements here, and then we'll cut this out and hopefully it'll fit just about exactly right. Divider wall here is starting to take shape. You can see this little cutout here, and that's because the plumbing is going to go from the bottom here up the wall here. The shower handle will be here offset this way, so that way you can keep the plumbing on this side, and then up here the shower head will be mounted here, come out. But this allows then the plumbing to be isolated from the storage on this side. Let me open up the door here, and you can see the storage then on this side here. Now what I did for that then, instead of screwing that all together, I went ahead and used some L brackets, and that way this can be removed. So if I need to access the plumbing, I can take that off. I'll be able to get to the plumbing there. I made this shelf this size because this is where we're going to store the generator when we're traveling. You can see the generator just fits in there, came out just right. A little farther away look. Now we'll end up next putting again a shelf here, and then here will be where the blockout will be, just like there, so the plumbing has a chance to run. This is just big enough that I believe we can put chairs here for the outside. If not, we do have room for the chairs underneath the couch. And you can see Christine has the stain on. It's a stain with polycoat combined on the closet here. Have then a little rod there. And these hangers are special to me. These hangers were made by my family for years. I don't know who specifically made them, whether it be my mom, who has passed away, or my grandparents, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. Everybody made them. My Antonine. Somebody in our family made these. They're special to me to have in the van here. Another thing we've added here is these shelves. They just slide out like so. They fit just underneath here, so we can keep toiletries. The idea is to be able to keep toiletries, things like that. Since this is our only sink, we brush our teeth and things like that here. So we have two of them. One for Christine, one for myself. There is still a little room on the back side there for some storage. Probably put cleaning products and things back there. Things that you can access then through the opening here. So here's the finished product now. You can see how much thinner this is to get that to fit. Actually, I almost wish I would have done this earlier, just because with this thinner now, it does flatten these out better. So I can actually, when you put the screw in from the back, it pulls this in tighter, makes this a little less obtrusive. But now, you can see up here up top, we have enough of a gap that we can clear that. I made them, well, I probably only need to take millimeter or so off. I took really probably 3 or 4 off. That way we could, almost a 1/4 inch is what I have taken it off. That way we could easily have enough room. So even if there was some flex, if the bed was moving a little bit, then I know it wouldn't catch that. But that's the finished product now. I've also redid the tracks on these. I put 2 bolts, a bolt, and then just a self-tapping screw through here, so that way they stay level here. They don't want to twist any, and then they stay on their track much better. So it's much better there. And then you can see here, I did the same thing on this one, and obviously they slide out nicely now. So the partition wall now is done completely. The other thing this is done now, you can see, is tighten this up so they actually move very little. Once the strap is on, they're very solid here, so they don't actually vibrate. They don't make a lot of noise going down the road. This has been a definite improvement, adding the 2 to the top here. So again, this is just more solid.
So I thought I'd finally put a closing to the video I've been working on. It keeps on adding, but this week both Matt and I have been working on the van, and this is the result. All cleaned up. This is painted. Got the microwave in place. We got a little mat for our shoes underneath. So then this is under the sink, the 2 drawers. Some storage. More storage. And the refrigerator. And then he made a shelf That's to access the heater. So that underneath will go the heater unit. He's already got stuff in. He's actually going somewhere this weekend. Toilet.